Have you ever wondered why your cat still seems guarded around you even after years of living together? You feed them, you give them a home, you love them, but there's still this distance you can't quite close. Here's what most people don't realize. It's not that your cat doesn't love you. It's that you've been skipping the 5 daily rituals that actually build unshakable trust. And without them, your cat is stuck in a permanent state of almost trusting you, but never fully letting go. 1. Greet them first thing every morning out loud. You wake up, you check your phone, you head to the kitchen for coffee, you start your routine, and somewhere in all of that, you walk right past your cat without saying a word. Maybe you glance at them. Maybe you assume they know you see them, but here's the truth. Your cat has been waiting for you to wake up. And that first interaction of the day sets the tone for everything that follows. A study from the University of Tokyo in 2019 found that cats form daily attachment patterns based on morning interactions with their owners, and inconsistent or absent greetings can increase anxiety throughout the day. When you ignore your cat in the morning, you're not just being rushed or distracted, you're teaching them that they're not a priority, that other things come first. And cats remember that. But when you greet them, when you say their name out loud, when you acknowledge their presence before you do anything else, you're doing something powerful. You're proving that they matter, that they're not just part of the scenery, that the first thought you have when you enter the world is them. And your cat doesn't need a long conversation. They don't need you to pick them up or shower them with affection. They just need to hear your voice directed at them. Because that sound is what tells them, you're still here. You still see me. We're still us. 2. Sit at their level for at least 2 minutes. You interact with your cat from standing height all day long. You walk past them. You reach down to pet them. You talk to them from across the room. And you probably don't think twice about it. But here's what's happening from your cat's perspective. You are a giant. And every time you loom over them, even with the best intentions, you are activating a primal response they can't control. Research from the University of Lincoln in 2017 found that cats show measurably lower stress levels when humans approach from a crouched or seated position rather than standing, because it removes the predatory angle from the interaction. Your cat knows you're not a threat. But their body doesn't. Not fully. Not when you're towering above them. So when you sit down at their level, when you get on the floor, when you lower yourself to their world, you're dismantling the one physical barrier that's been keeping them in a state of low-level alertness their entire life. And here's what most people miss. You don't have to do anything while you're down there. You don't have to play with them or pet them or call them over. You just have to exist at their height. Because that's the moment your cat realizes you're not trying to dominate the space. You're trying to share it. And that shift from dominance to equality is what transforms the entire relationship. 3. Let them smell your hands before you touch them. You see your cat. You want affection. So you reach out and pet them. It feels natural. It feels loving. But here's the problem. You just skipped the most important step. Cats communicate through scent. It's their primary language. And when you reach out to touch them without offering your hand first, you're essentially walking up to someone and grabbing them without saying hello. A study from the University of Vienna found that cats are significantly more receptive to human touch when they're given the opportunity to initiate contact through scent investigation first. It's not about permission in the way humans think of it. It's about respect. When you extend your hand and let your cat come to you, when you let them sniff your fingers before you make contact, you're speaking fluent cat. You're saying, I'm not here to take from you, I'm here to offer, and I'll wait until you're ready. Most people never learn this. They assume their cat should just accept affection whenever it's given. But cats don't work that way. They need the approach to feel like their choice. And every time you offer your hand first, every time you wait those extra 2 seconds for them to close the distance, you're proving something they'll never forget. That you value their comfort more than your need to touch them. 4. Feed them at the exact same time every day. You feed your cat when it's convenient, when you remember, when you get around to it. And if it's off by an hour or two, you don't think much of it, but your cat does. Because to a cat, unpredictability isn't just annoying, it's dangerous. In the wild, a cat's survival depends on routine. They hunt at the same time, they patrol the same territory, they eat when food is available, and conserve energy when it's not. And even though your cat lives in a safe home with guaranteed meals, that instinct doesn't disappear. Research from UC Davis School of Veterinary Medicine found that cats fed on inconsistent schedules show elevated cortisol levels and increased stress behaviors compared to cats fed at regular intervals. When you feed your cat at random times, their nervous system stays in a low-grade state of alert. They don't know when the next meal is coming. They can't relax. They can't trust that their needs will be met. But when you feed them at the exact same time every single day, not roughly the same time, not within a window, but the same time, something shifts. Your cat stops wondering if you'll show up. They stop worrying whether today is the day you forget. And that consistency becomes the foundation of everything else. Because trust isn't built on love. It's built on predictability. And if you're starting to realize that the small things you've been dismissing actually matter more than the big gestures, if this is resonating in a way you didn't expect, subscribe. Because we're going deeper into what your cat actually needs from you. And most of it has nothing to do with what you've been told. 5. End every day by being in the same room as them, silently. You think quality time with your cat means interaction, playing, petting, talking. So at the end of the day, you either engage with them or you don't. You either give them attention or you leave them alone. But here's what your cat actually wants. They want you to just be there, not performing, not asking anything of them, just existing in the same space. Cats are not social the way dogs are. They don't need constant interaction to feel connected. What they need is presence. And there's a specific kind of trust that only gets built in silence. When you sit in the same room as your cat at the end of the day, and you don't try to touch them, don't try to play, don't try to get them to come to you, when you just let them exist near you without expectation, you're giving them something rare. You're proving that being around you doesn't come with demands. That proximity to you is safe. That they can let their guard down completely because you're not going to ask them to perform. And here's the part that'll break your heart. This is the thing that either cements trust or quietly erodes it. Because your cat has been watching you all day. They've been measuring your energy, your consistency, your mood. And this moment, this quiet, unforced companionship at the end of the day, is when they decide whether everything else was real. If you show up here, if you make space for them, without needing anything in return, they'll know. They'll know you're not just someone who takes care of them, you're someone who actually sees them. And that difference is everything. Trust isn't built in grand gestures. It's built in 5 small daily moments that tell your cat the same thing over and over, until they finally believe it, that you're not going anywhere, that you're steady, that you're safe, that you're worth letting their guard down for. Your cat doesn't need you to be perfect. They just need you to be consistent. And if you can show up in these 5 ways every single day, you're not just building trust. You're becoming the kind of person a cat would choose to believe in. And there's no higher compliment than that.